Hello, everybody. It is Friday, December 26th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. Apologies for the late upload. I was thinking this morning I had a chance to record it, but it would have only been like less than 10 minutes. And given how much we have to talk about today, I thought that I'd wait till after work and really dive into everything that happened yesterday, because a lot did happen yesterday. We have a great deal to talk about. And we'll start with basketball. We'll go over all the games, all 5 games that happened on NBA Christmas Day yesterday. And a lot of them were really good. So let's get into it then. The Knicks beat the Cavs 126 to 124. Brunson put up 34, but it was, um, I don't even know bro's name. I want to make sure I get his name correct. So I thought Tyler Kolek, who really was great down the stretch. He had in the fourth quarter 11 points in the fourth quarter, 3 for 3 on threes, and the Knicks held off the Cavaliers to win the first game. The second game was the game of the day. Had a potential to be one of the greatest games of the year, and it was the Spurs and the Thunder. This is the third time they've met this year, and the Spurs have won all 3 of these games. 117 to 102, the score for this one. Wembanyama, 19-11. De'Aaron Fox had 29 points, and the Spurs beat the Thunder for the third time this year. The Thunder are 26-5. They have 5 losses, and 3 of them are to the San Antonio Spurs. The third game was the Warriors Mavs game, and the Warriors won this game 126 to 116. Great team effort. We're going to be diving into that one first because it is, of course, the home team, the Golden State Warriors. Great win for the Dubs. The Rockets beat the Lakers in LA for the fourth game, 119 to 96. Pretty convincing win for Houston. And JJ Redick called out his team after the game. It's very interesting to note. Yeah, so I guess we'll talk about that one as well. And the final game was the most exciting game of the day. The last one, it was back and forth, nail biter into overtime. And this game also we have a lot to talk about. The Nuggets beat the Timberwolves 142 to 138 in overtime. Absolute roller coaster of a game. We'll get to that one as well, but we'll start with the Warriors. And what I talked about yesterday was how in order for us to win this game, we're gonna have to have a barrage of threes. We were gonna have to really limit their bigs down low, rebounding, second chance points, and we really, we kind of did that, but like it was more of a balanced win. We actually out rebounded them, and part of that was because Anthony Davis left the game in the first half with a groin injury. And then Cooper Flag had 27, 6, and 5, which is still a good game, but it wasn't enough. We had 49 rebounds and 13 offensive rebounds. The Mavericks 3. So really a role reversal of a flip. And the second chance points 24-6 in favor of the Warriors. And it was. I said that the Mavs were going to do a good job of that, and we had to kind of shoot threes to in response. But we actually did a great job controlling the offensive glass. Part of that was getting Al Horford back, who was great in this game. He had 14 points. Did all of them come in the first quarter? I mean, he had 12 points in the first quarter. He was 4 for 4 on field goals, 3-pointers. He had a nice game. Nice first quarter. Really helped set the tone there. And then we actually did not shoot the three well at all. Part of that was because Steph Curry did not have his best game shooting. He is surprisingly not very good on Christmas Day. I mean, he's only averaging like 18 points. He had 23, but he was 2 for 10 shooting 3-pointers. The Mavs were 4 for 14 on threes, and we were 14 of 50, so not good for either side. We shot way more, but both teams at 28% for 3-pointers. So I think we did a good job limiting the Dallas big men inside, and I think it was a very nice game. Everyone really contributed. I mean, Steph, he didn't have the greatest game of shooting. He was -3. He was one of the only Warriors -3 or in the negatives. He still had 23 points contributing. And then it was a group effort. We had Jimmy, Al, D'Anthony Melton, Pajemski, Trace Jackson Davis, and Moody all had double figures. Everyone's contributing. I think I also want to talk about Draymond. Draymond played 28 minutes in this game, which is a lot less than he normally played before. At least I think it's a lot less. He was 2 for 7 shooting field goals, not the best, but he did only have 2 turnovers in his 28 minutes, and he had 5 boards, 3 assists. It looked like he was controlling the offense pretty well. He was doing a good job. I think it was very interesting to try and see how he would bounce back from the drama that happened on Monday. And I think he did a good job. Obviously, wasn't his best performance, but he facilitated. He was -9 though in this game, but I still think he did a good job coming back. I still think his role should be limited a little bit, just in general, not even because of the incident. But I think it was a great team win for the Warriors. The next game we should talk about is the Thunder and the Spurs, and I think this has the most meaning because like I said, the Spurs have beat the Thunder all 3 times they've played this year. One NBA Cup game, NBA Cup knockout game, elimination game, and this is on Christmas. Those are the two biggest regular season stages of the whole year. NBA Cup means more, and Christmas means more. Everything else is kind of just a regular season game. And obviously, when you got two contenders going up against each other, it means a lot. But the Spurs have really brought it to the Thunder this year, 3-0. And I think the Thunder are still the best team in the league. I'd take the Thunder over any team in the league except for the Spurs because ownage is a thing, guys. It's a real thing. If you just have somebody's number, then that's just how it is. And obviously, sometimes it's not a guarantee you're going to win, but with that confidence that you have, that really does a lot for momentum and all sorts of those things. So, Spurs with a nice win there. Um, the other game that was big was the Nuggets and the Wolves. This game was crazy. You know what? Actually, instead of just recapping, I already recap every single game. So I want to try and get into some questions that I came up with for these games. Some prompts, if you will, that I thought would be kind of interesting to talk about. So we're gonna go with talking about who's the biggest winner on this Christmas Day. And I'm going to take the San Antonio Spurs as the biggest winner. I think, like I said, the biggest stage other than the NBA Cup playoff games, Christmas, national TV, everyone's watching. It means a lot more, and they showed out, man. I mean, OKC was favored by 9.5 points, and the Spurs won by 15. The first quarter, the Thunder were leading up by 8 at one point. That was their biggest lead. They scored, but then the Spurs won the first quarter, and then they won every quarter after that except the fourth when it was out of reach. They limited Shea to 22 points. They limited Jade up to 12. Holmgren 10 points. He had 12 rebounds. But every single player on the Thunder was in the negatives except for Jalen Williams. Um, the the better Jalen. They have two Jalen Williams, don't they? Uh, yeah. So Jalen with a Y. He didn't even play in this game. But Jalen with L, I guess. He was limited. But anyway, I think the Spurs were the biggest winner. I think this was the biggest matchup, the two best teams, and they made a statement win. And I think they really announced themselves with these 3 wins over the Thunder as legit contenders. Not that there was any doubt that they weren't contenders before, but they are now seemingly right up there with the Thunder as the front runners, the favorites for the NBA title this year, and I think they definitely won. There are also other winners, of course, but I think the Spurs. I'm gonna take the Spurs as the biggest winner. Biggest loser from Christmas Day. I think it's the Lakers. The Lakers were the only team who played to not score 100 points, and they're a team that's really built around offense. They have Luca, LeBron, Austin Reeves. That's their kind of their big three, and they did not play very well in this game, and the Rockets really dominated this one from the jump. I mean, yeah, the Rockets led the entire game, and on the Lakers' home court in the primetime game. It was at 5:30, which is the primetime slot, and the Rockets just dominated. And if you look at the plus minus, I mean, you don't want to get caught up in that too much, but LeBron was minus 33, Luca was minus 25, and Reeves minus 7. Um, yeah, Luca was 3 for 8 on field. LeBron, or no, wait, 3 for 8 on threes. He was 9 for 17. LeBron 7 for 13, which isn't too bad. But LeBron only had 18 points. Luca 25, 5 and 7. It's just the Rockets just outplayed him. Thompson and Durant and Shangoon, all the Rockets starters were plus 20 at least. So I'm gonna take the Lakers. The Lakers have lost, I believe it's 5 in a row. No, 3 in a row. I don't know where I got 5 from. They've lost 3 in a row. They lost to the Clippers, to the Suns, to the Rockets. They are sliding in the West. They're now fourth. And while they still are a good team, they do have some things to figure out. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take the Lakers as the biggest loser. And then best performer, the standout performer from Christmas Day, I'm gonna take Nikola Jokic with a record-setting game. He set multiple records in this game. He was unbelievable. 56 points, 16 boards, 15 assists, and it's kind of expected for Jokic to get a triple double, but 16 and 15, that's insane. Not to mention 56 points. So this is the um the two records that he set. We'll get into that. He was the first player in NBA history with 55 points, 15 boards, 15 assists. Nobody else had ever done that. He had 56, 16, and 5. And then the other one was the most points ever in an overtime period. He had 18 points in overtime. He did have 10 free throws, 10 of 11 on free throws, but he didn't miss a shot except for the one free throw. And the other thing that was interesting is Grant was telling me about this basketball contributor, number one fan, Grant Thompson. Shout out Grant. He had 18 points. All of them came in the last 3 minutes. So he didn't even score for the first, I believe it's 5 minute period. He didn't even score in the first 2 minutes of overtime, and then he scored the most points ever in overtime. And I'm also going to acknowledge Anthony Edwards, who dropped 44. And he had a game tying 3 and to send it to overtime. He was amazing in this game. But Jokic played head and shoulders above everybody else. He was so good last night. So I'm going to take Nikola Jokic as the standout performer from Christmas. So that's the basketball talk. Nice win for the Warriors, and lots of good action around the league. We have to talk about football. Every single game. I mean, the Cowboys and Commanders game was pretty good, high scoring wise at least, but the other games were kind of like not the best quality the NFL has to offer. So the first game, the Cowboys beat the Commanders 30-23. This had no impact on the playoffs. Cowboys were already eliminated. Um, Dallas's offense looks pretty good. They are no, Dallas' offense is good. They have a very good offense, but that defense, it's got some holes, and that's why they are not in the playoffs. The other game that did have playoff implications were the Lions and the Vikings, and the Vikings won 23-10. The Lions' offense did not look good in this game, and it was close for a while until the Vikings pulled away. The Lions eliminated from playoff contention a year after going 15-2 and having the 1 seed. Very disappointing for Detroit. I picked them to be the 5 seed. I had them win the wild card preseason. They did not play up to their expectations. Expectations were sky high, don't get me wrong, but still, not even making the playoffs, that's not good. And speaking of not making the playoffs, the Kansas City Chiefs played with their third string quarterback, and they lost to the Broncos 20-13. I think Denver got the win, which was important for them. They're now 13-3, still first in the West, and they are still first in the AFC. I'm pretty yeah, they're still first in the AFC, but this is not. This doesn't make me feel better about them. If anything, it makes me feel worse. Only winning by 7 against a very defeated Kansas City team, who are 6-10, by the way. Um, I mean, they moved the ball, sure. They really dominated time of possession. Only one turnover though, but the offense looks. I mean, they didn't throw the ball very well. They did run it a lot, but uh, just not being able to score against a team like that, it doesn't make me feel great about the Broncos. It being that close, and this is a team that's supposed to be a front runner. They're up there. Um, maybe shaken, maybe a little bit rusty after that Jacksonville loss, maybe a little bit shaken up. But you got to be resilient if you're going to make the playoffs. So I don't really, I didn't. I'm going to be honest. I was watching basketball. I don't have Netflix. I didn't watch any of the football games. But we do have great football games tomorrow. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow. Sharks play tomorrow. Nothing really going on. Uh, that's it. That's it, kind of. We got everything out. I want to talk basketball, and we had to talk football. And this is the greatest. Yeah, it's a good point to wrap it up. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. We have a lot to talk about tomorrow. I'm excited for it. I'll see you then.